Richards was a liability in the field, and Jones needed to be there. It was the logical solution. However, she knew the only way it would work was if Richards had command of the English language. Her adjutant needed to be a good communicator in every way. He was expected to convey her messages either in person or in writing to everyone from the newest probationer to the chief of police, and do it in a way that didn't reflect badly on her or Hollywood. Jones had performed far beyond her expectations, and he would be difficult to replace. She removed Richards's personnel package from her file cabinet, hoping his rating reports would give her some insight. She had examined the package after he arrived, and at that time was pleased with all the commendations and positive evaluations, but she was looking for something different now, and found it. He'd taken the department's English test, had scores in the high 90s, and had graduated with honors from California State University in Los Angeles with a degree in history. "He'll do," Josie said, replacing the file. She asked Sergeant Jones to come into her office and closed the door. "Bobby, I'm putting you back in the field a couple of weeks early," she said as soon as he sat on her couch. His expression didn't change. She thought he'd be disappointed, but couldn't get a reading on his feelings. After a few seconds, he asked if she was bringing Richards in to fill the position. It wasn't a big surprise that he'd figured it out. Jones had watched and hopefully learned from her for nearly a year. Josie tried to teach him how to think like a department manager, and his response was an indication she hadn't completely wasted her time. "You okay with that?" she asked. "I understand," he said, in a tone that told her he was anything but okay. "Want to talk about it?" "No, it's fine," he said, and stood. "Anything else?" She shook her head. "He's starting next week. You'll take his place on the late watch," she said. But trying to ease the tension between them, added, "You've done an outstanding job, and I appreciate it. So let me know if there's anything I can do to make the transition easier for you." They'd always had a good rapport and worked well together. His sudden coldness made her uncomfortable, and she was a little disappointed. Jones thanked her and started to leave, but turned back and asked, "Do you mind if I take a few days off to get ready?" She did, but said, "No, take as much time as you need." What could he possibly have to get ready, she wondered, but agreed because she was feeling guilty about making him leave this cushy job a few weeks earlier than originally promised. As a patrol sergeant, Jones would have to work weekends and holidays and actually supervise hard-charging cops during one of Hollywood's busiest shifts, something he hadn't been required to do for almost a year. When she thought more about it, Josie decided returning to the patrol probably wasn't the real reason for Jones's attitude. She had a nagging feeling that his resentment was based on the prospect of being replaced by Sergeant Richards. Her adjutant's easygoing nature had changed drastically since the shooting this morning. When she was alone again, Josie dropped onto her couch and, closing her eyes, rested her head against the back. After a few seconds, she figured she was done fretting about Jones. He was a grown man. He'd get over it. He might tell himself there was some racial motivation in her decision, but it wasn't true, and he should know better. The real problem might be convincing Richards he had to come out of the field for a while. Policemen with Richards' mindset withered like vampires in sunlight if they were forced to work from behind a desk. He'd do it because she'd tell him to, but Josie feared she was about to alienate another loyal employee. After a shower, she put on her uniform and decided to deliver the news to Richards in person. His info card in the watch commander's office showed a home address in Long Beach, about a 20-minute drive south of downtown L.A. Only 2 news vans were still parked on the street in front of the station when she pulled out of the driveway, and all the cameras had been removed. "These reporters have the attention span of my kid," she thought, and immediately picked up her cell phone to see if David had left a message. Her son was angry with her, which wasn't unusual. 2 nights ago, they'd had their usual argument about him getting a real job. He was a talented pianist and decent artist, 2 skills that gave him a lot of personal satisfaction but no steady income. She was tired of supporting an able-bodied 23-year-old, and she feared he would never be self-sufficient. Her husband